I won't remember it, like I won't know what door number.
She knew nobody was in land management yesterday at election training. You had ESP.
We had election training yesterday in the town of Arcadia,
No, but the wife was.
so,
Was Paul doing that, or?
no, Melissa did it.
Oh,
And
Melissa.
Tammy was there, and Lynn was there.
oh, Melissa from Extension, yeah.
It was the Konos.
I don't know why they didn't go in the morning, but they were the afternoon. Sharon, George, my mom.
I was never given it.
Oh, maybe wife didn't know, but Luann did.
Cheryl, there's 4 of them there. And Tam counted, my wife counted.
All right, Randy, can you hear us?
I can.
Good.
Good morning, Randy.
Good morning.
No picture, just sound for Randy and the big Randy Severson across the screen.
Is,
Yep.
yeah.
So I
That's the
think.
way it came up.
Okay. Unfortunately, the volume needs to come up a little bit. We don't have that nice little blue line around the Randy Severson box that tells us when you're talking. So speak up when, and someone remind me if they can hear him talk. It is December 8th, 2021. This is the Trempealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee. I will call the meeting to order at 9:02. Roll call at committee members and staff. We'll just go around the table here. I'm George Brandt, representing District 6 on the county board. I'm the chairman of the committee.
Beth Killian, I'm supervisor number 7, and I'm the secretary for the committee.
Tony Munson, Towns Association representative.
Kellen Nelson, Supervisor 14, and Vice Chair of the committee.
Curtis Goyen, Supervisor District 16.
Chuck Wallach, Supervisor District 11.
Haley Passo, County Conservation Engineering Specialist.
Chuck Zauner, County Conservationist.
Burge Galen, Department of Land Management, I record the minutes.
Mike Kornman.
You just turned it off, Mike.
Oops. Mike Kornman, Director.
Thank you. I'll certify the open meeting law requirements. I am certifying the open meeting law requirements have been met. And the agenda is 16 items. This is a regular agenda, no amendments. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Nelson, second by Munson. I see no comments or additions. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Opposed? All right, the agenda is adopted. The November 3rd minutes have been sent to us in our emails, correct, Verge?
Yep.
Okay. So I was actually checking them over, so.
Killian will make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Scoyen, I'm going to give it to Kurt.
One second.
Okay. Any corrections, additions? All in favor of approving the minutes as printed, say aye.
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 Opposed? The minutes are approved. Dwayne is back. Please join us at the table. So, crop price amendment, is this, I thought we decided that last time, or are we having you back to decide that now?
No, we did decide it, but if you remember, I talked about the llama that was attacked by the bear.
Oh,
Okay, and so based on sales records of the fleece of the llama, it is eligible for the damage program, so there's some reimbursement for the folks that lost the llama and the fleece that they sold. So we have to amend the initial crop prices that we approved in November. That's why I'm back. So
okay, so the crop per se is the fleece and the animal.
correct. Just like if a bear attacked a cow or something, that would be automatically eligible. You know, this was a little different situation. They had to provide some sales records indicating there was some income, and once they could do that, then it becomes eligible for the program. It doesn't matter what they're farming or whatever, how big they are. If they can show that, then they can be eligible for reimbursement to the program.
So do you have any numbers for us?
I do. So what I did, it's a lot easier to get prices for cattle or pigs or sheep than it is for llamas. And so what I did was talk to Dennis and Susan Frame is the one that lost the llama to the bear, and talked with them. They gave me some contacts, and then I had to find my own contacts to find what, the value of a 17-year-old male, let me get to my stuff here, so I've got the details, llama is. So it was 17-year-old gelded male, 4 to 450 pounds. And then basically what it would cost, this is not a great way to do this or say this, but basically replacement value. You can't replace the animal that you had, but to put a monetary thing on it, that's what it is. And so searched around, ended up talking to 3 different breeders in Wisconsin, and the consensus was based on that that llama that was trained for showing, both in body and performance, that the average would be about $1,000 for that animal to replace it. It would be higher if the animal was younger. There's guard type llamas too, that's a different price, but basically this was initially a 4-H project.
A show animal.
Yeah, show animal. So it was trained and stuff. So the consensus was between the 3 breeders, one in Dusman, Wisconsin, one in Toma, Wisconsin, and the other one in Linden Station. They're all amazingly consistent, as around $1,000. One said $500 to $1,000, one said $1,000 to $1,500, and one said $1,000. So basically, we're going with $1,000. I did talk to the frames, and they're okay. They understood how that price came up. With regard to the fleece, I used their sales records, and basically it's $3 a pound, or $32 a pound for the fleece.
Wait a minute, $3 or $32?
$32 a pound for the fleece. Let me get, $32 a pound to sell a pound of fleece for
Really?
making rugs or whatever you want to
Right.
make, okay. So, and then a llama, generally they can get about 3 pounds of fleece per year,
Okay.
okay. So it's $32 a pound, and I wrote that on here wrong, I gotta correct that. So basically what we need to add or amend the original one with the normal grain prices on is to add basically $1,000 per animal versus a ton or anything, and $32 a pound for the fleece, as to approve those prices, and I'm going to say crop prices because their livestock's considered a crop in its the overarching term, to amend the initial one to add those 2 prices, and then therefore they would come up, the claim will come up to $1,096 minus a $500 deductible. So, has anybody got questions on that?
So you're requesting us to amend the crop prices by adding basically the price of a llama and
The fleece.
a fleece?
Yeah.
Okay.
At $1,000 for the animal and $32 a pound for the fleece.
Is there, motion by Wallach, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Skoyan. Any other discussion related to that? The question I have then is there, it's just for my information, is there a timeline in terms of payout, or does it happen right after this meeting, or how does?
That's a good question. What happens now is we put the claims together. After the first year, I'll have all the claims signed.
Mm-hmm.
And then if, like with the deer stuff, if shooting permit issues, harvest exemptions, that'll get into all that. And then whether it's January or February, meet again, I'll have them all ready to go. So then we'll review all the claims in the county, and I think there's 4 or 5 this year now. And then they'll be approved, okay, most likely. And then from there, Wildlife Services submits the claims to DNR, And then DNR audits all the claims statewide, and by statute, they have to have them sent to the growers by June 1st. Generally, they start going out February or April, mid-April, and vast majority will be out by mid-May. And I know there's no funding issue right now with the program, so as they come in, then they generally start working county claim packages and then send them out, and the check sent directly to the grower. So that's how it works. So the frames are already, Dennis and Susan are already aware that the check won't be there until probably April, mid-April at the soonest.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, Tony.
Now, you said a $500 deductible. Is that for just this claim, or is that all claims? That's the minimum, or the standard is a $500 deductible?
Yes, correct. That's a standard. It's set in statute. So currently there's a 10,000 maximum claim per individual per year with a $500 deductible. That's set by statute. Way back when, or I don't know how many years ago, it used to be $15,250. It just, as the program changes, that's set in statute. So in the case of frames, it's a 1,096 claim, 1,000 for the stuff, and 500 will come off. They'll get a check for $596. So.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to amend our crop price, I guess.
List, yeah.
Yeah. Any other discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Then I just give another.
Just a second.
Okay.
I was waiting for Randy.
Oh, aye.
Okay. Opposed? Hearing none, it passes. We've amended the crop price.
I'll get a signature. I don't have anything else unless you guys have other questions. I always put the catch-all in case if there's other stuff that's arose in the last month.
Bobcats? Are there more bobcats than there used to be? I'm hearing a lot about bobcats lately.
Well, I don't know that there's more. It's depending on the year, you might see more on occasion. They've been a healthy population for years. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, they finally opened up the southern zone for harvesting of bobcat. There's nothing, George, that I'm aware they really track it. That I'm aware of. There could be something started up new that they're tracking, try to get estimated population. Last year I seen a couple. I mean, it's just if you're in the right place at the right time, so.
Okay. I've just been hearing a lot about bobcats. Any other questions for Dwayne? If not,
I just, maybe just, have you, had a lot of bear this fall?
More than usual per.
Yeah, 'cause I've seen videos where they've been combining corn and there's come like 5+ bear out of the cornfield.
It's a function of it's been such a mild fall, and as long as there's a food source, they can stay up. And now now that it's gotten cold or winter here, right, then they're gonna just lay down. They started that process even before, because photo period and stuff dictates a lot of that. About light of day when they're supposed to lay down. But yeah, if there's a food source, they'll stay on that food source. And if it's really staying mild, some get up. They're not true hibernators.
turn your mic on.
They're not true hibernators, like, woodchucks and stuff, that when the ambient temperature gets to a certain spot, it is what it is. They have to hibernate. Bears are not, so as long as it's warm weather and there's a food source they can get at, they'll continue to feed and eat. And then they're not going to be running all over the countryside because photoperiod plays a role as well. Then they'll at some point lay down, and once it gets cold enough, that they'll stay down. Now, even if it gets real cold for a long time, and all of a sudden you get a mid-January, 2 or 3 day stretch where it warms up, they get up and move around. They can do that. It's not that they're going to just run around, but if you knew where a den was, it wouldn't be uncommon to see tracks outside of the den. Less so true with a sow with cubs, but if it's a boar or something like an individual, then yeah. But if there's corn standing, it's been really mild. I mean, this is, I guess my thought, the last 3 days is this is the first winter's arrived, and it kind of arrived real fast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's part of the reason people are seeing more that way. So.
Yeah, no, I've just seen some of these videos where they've showed probably half a dozen of them coming out,
Yeah,
in front of the combine. And
yeah. Do you know where it was at, Kurt?
no, I don't. I think one was just north a little ways, probably up in that, maybe up in that Cadott area or.
And it's certainly, because there's enough bears up there too, if you have a sow that had cubs and had, three, four cubs, they're gonna be in that 50, maybe 70-pound range going back in with her. So there would be, all of a sudden, I could see where a bunch would come out.
Sure.
I know in northern Wisconsin, if there was corn up there and it was wild enough, then you got potential for a bunch to run out when corn hits its dough stage and they start getting into, there's fields we'll trap and relocate 20 bear out of. It's a whole different ball game that way. Down here, I would think it's more likely a sow with some cubs that just haven't went denned up tight yet.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Okay.
if that's it, then I'll take off and everybody have a great holiday season.
Yeah,
You
thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks for coming.
I think Mike's got this next one, UDC, Uniform Dwelling Code Inspection Services?
Yes, one of the services we provide to towns and cities and villages in the county is uniform dwelling code inspections for single and two-family homes by our county ordinance that is executed for communities under the size of 2,500. That does not apply for communities over 2,500. So the city of Arcadia has not been part of that, our UDC inspections. They've had their own inspector. Their inspector they're looking for some changes over there, so they've inquired here with the Department of Land Management to enter into a intergovernmental agreement to provide UDC inspections for the city of Arcadia. So they're interested in that, and so essentially be adding another community. So what I'm asking here today from the committee is approval to proceed with negotiating a intergovernmental agreement to provide those services.
So move.
By Wallach, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Killian.
I thought they were already part of our program. No.
They were not, since they're over 2,500 people, they had their own inspector for a number of years, and I think that inspector's looking at retiring possibly. So,
So this.
but we do for the town of Arcadia. This
Right,
would be the
But I thought
city.
the city joined us a while ago.
There had been rumors
Oh.
that they were interested, and I think that Mike has finally sat down at the table with their administrator and you said the corp counsel there?
Yes.
So this would mean every municipality, possibly except Blair,
I believe so, yes.
will be being served in terms of the inspection processes.
Yes.
Right, we have a motion and a second to have Mike continue with the negotiations, and you'll bring the news of the intergovernmental agreement back to us when it's
Yes.
finished? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Randy. Opposed, same sign? All right, go forth. Okay, I think I'm supposed to know about this. Review of social media accounts.
One of the county policies is to come to, bring to the county, or to the oversight committee and kind of demonstrate and show our Facebook pages.
Oh, okay.
So, just so you guys know kind of how we're communicating out there.
This is why Haley just jumped over to the computer?
That's right.
Okay.
So
Here we
she's,
go.
as a department, we have three Facebook pages, three. Today, we're just going to look over Department of Land Management because the tourism and the Petrick Park one, that would be reviewed at PTED. So we don't have, Haley's bringing you up right there, and we don't have a ton of followers. And Haley's really been great at taking kind of the lead on our social media. And she can kind of walk you through the Department of Land Management, our posts and our followers, and kind of what we're seeing out there in the land of Facebook.
So we're in the low 4 figures, or are we up in the 5 figures in terms of followers now? Or are we?
Right now we're at 171 followers since
Okay,
I
the upper
started
lower.
in July, and I started getting more consistent in posting again. We have, I think, increased a little bit. I mean, I think we got 5 to 10 followers in the last couple months here, so slowly but steady we'll get there. So here's just our general page, and I have the poster and speaking contest is pinned on the top just because that's a prevalent thing right now. But I have been posting, like the other day was nutrient management. There's helplines that can be called by anybody, so I want to make sure that that's out there. Just some cool articles I like to share as well, spottings of, the barn owls that haven't been seen in Wisconsin for quite a while. So, and that was in La Crosse, so fairly close to us. Just letting people know that we're going to be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. So I'm just kind of keeping people updated on what we're doing. And then interesting articles about conservation-wise, invasive species, wildlife damage, and then I think I'd done a couple of our before and afters, so you'll see a little bit more of those coming up here as the project starts getting finished. But making sure that we're keeping up to date on kind of what we're working on, and we're just kind of highlighting what is out there. So that's what I've been focusing on, I guess, posting on our Facebook page. If you guys would like to see something else posted or more of something, let me know. And if somebody has something they would like to be shared, if you want to send me like a message with a post included, or sometimes the public will let us know, like, hey, can you guys share something widely, and we can definitely do that. Just make sure to let me know, and then I can definitely share that. So if you have something else, I can definitely update the Facebook page there. And then just as another reminder is I've been trying to keep up to date on the news and announcements. So across the board, it's kind of been a lot of employment opportunities, but now I've been trying to get it posted. So like the poster and speaking contest is on here. I'd put on somewhere in here, might have been down, but the newsletter was up there. We have kind of all kinds of things that we do, news and announcements. And then if you go to our DLM homepage here, been trying to keep up to date of all the different things we've been working on, ordinances, just our standard homepage, which has really great resources as well, and all of our contact information. So if anyone needs to get a hold of us, they definitely can. So I think that's kind of where we're at. You guys have any questions? Feels weird to sit with my back.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good to be getting active.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, and keeping up to date.
Yeah, and make sure you follow, whatever it is, so that we can get more people involved in that Facebook page.
The way Facebook works is the more you comment on someone comments on a post and shares it, that it kind of shows up in other people's feeds. So that's really important. So that's one of the things you can do if you're on Facebook to help us out. Haley's been really good about trying to get at least one post a week on there to kind of keep it active and worth following. And we're also trying to get more followers. Our newsletter is on the Facebook page, and then it also is getting mailed out here, a physical copy to all the landowners. And so we're trying to follow us on Facebook on there too, but we really want to get the number of followers up on that page. All right. Thanks, Haley.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is going to be a really short meeting if I don't start talking, so.
Oh, that's
I better get going here. Haley, so in terms of the Facebook page, how helpful, someone needs a zoning permit. Can they access that through the Facebook page, or they need to come, no, they need to come into the
Well,
office.
they have to go to the Department of Land Management or the county government webpage.
The county government,
We actually put it on the main page. Under the land-
Mike,
under the-
please.
On the main page, under the pictures,
Mhm.
they have the scrolling white letters where there's property search. Not on that page. Haley, go to the main page.
County homepage.
Yes, go to the homepage.
We added a, yeah, she'll show you.
Okay, see the scrolling white letters there,
Yeah.
Haley?
Yep,
And then you see
here.
to the right, it says land management permits.
Yep.
They can go in right from the homepage.
For
And
the
then it'll
county.
take them into all the permits and applications.
Okay, that's
The
pretty
the
critical.
problem we were having is we get a call and Verge would want to direct someone online to the permits online, and it was like really deep on,
Yeah,
10
click
steps to
here,
get to
click
it. So we worked with IT to get that button on the homepage, so now we can just go to the homepage, scroll through, find land management permits, click on that button, and it takes you right there.
And then that's why I brought that up, because I had heard that from folks who were having trouble getting permits on the web.
Yeah, and if anyone has questions, they can definitely message the Facebook page. I can message back and give them, links to things or answer questions or get them a phone number to someone that knows the answer. And then we can, if that's an easier way for someone to communicate, I can definitely, get them to the right resources from that standpoint.
I probably shouldn't have put that piece of chocolate in my mouth. So social media, every department has one person who's been designated the social media account person.
It's shared in DLM because we have Petrick Park and the tourism page, so we have multiple people, we have backups for each of those pages as well.
Okay. Good to know. All right, Haley, thank you.
Not a problem.
Farmland preservation fees. Oh, Chuck is turning on his mic.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with a short meeting.
I know, that was a joke. That was actually a joke. I have a reputation to uphold.
To uphold, yes, I understand. This is about farmland preservation and the fees that we are collecting. We're supposed to be collecting about $12,000, and right now we're collecting about $3,000. We're charging about 30 cents per acre per landowner, and they're getting a $5 tax deduction. We got about 140 people participating in farmland preservation, and it was decided, I don't know how long ago, but Trempealeau County does charge a fee for participating in farmland preservation. Not every county does do that. So this is a discussion if we want to continue with that, or if we want to increase it, or just eliminate it completely.
What does the 30 cents an acre cover? In terms
30
of-
cents an acre is supposed to cover us looking over the plans, going in there for the inspection of the plans. And like I said, there's a lot of counties that do not charge the 30 cents an acre, but we chose to do that. And from my standpoint, it just seems like we're punishing the people that are the good participants, because there's good people that are paying and there's quite a bit of people that are not paying. And the other thing that should be mentioned here is that you could do a notice of non-compliance through the state, but you cannot do this for the fees, because the fees are charged by the county and it's not through the state program. So if we do enforce that, then we're going to have to decide how we're going to enforce it through the county system and not through the state system.
So you would recommend dropping the fee?
That would be my recommendation. I have a problem with punishing good people that participate. And it almost seems like we're doing that because there's people that are paying and they're getting almost the same benefit of those people that are not paying. And if you look at the trend, it just steadily went down and down and down. And I think the word is out there that we're not collecting, so why should I pay? And so, it started at 12,000 and just keeps on going down and down and down. So,
The farmland preservation is the 100, how many?
approximately 140 people are participating.
140 people is down considerably from the 800 that used to be part of that program. And that is, my understanding is because these are the folks who have long-term contracts that haven't expired. And once they're expired, there's no farmland preservation program per se to re-enroll in. There are other programs that are available. So these are folks who have been in the program for a long time.
Yes, and there's a fairly heavy penalty to get out of farmland preservation if you expire your contract before the 15 years. I think that's also kind of what's happened in the county. People have gotten out of the farmland preservation, but they had to pay a severe penalty to do that.
And who in the department is responsible for the inspections and the reviews?
It would be me and Haley, and we're trying to get that going right now.
And is there money in the budget to cover the time for you to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though we were trying to collect $12,000 in fees, our budget revenue, we would list that as 3,000. So it would essentially mean a $3,000 hit to our budget. So my guess is throughout the year, we would be able to adapt to that, having $3,000 less in revenue. And then we would adjust that accordingly in the 2023 budget.
There's also the labor of, we'd send out the letter and saying, this is how much you owe, and, so there's also that into this equation that should be thought about, so as we send those out, it takes time to send them out, it takes the stamp, and then we're trying to call those people. It just, from my perspective, I think we could spend time better by trying to get people into compliance than trying to get them to pay this fee, and we really don't have any backbone on collecting it if they say no. Unless you guys decide something else and give me some avenue of how you want me to penalize or collect these fees.
I'm not sure that it's a good use of your time to chase after $9,000 for what we're possibly going to get. If best case scenario, we're going to get about $9,000. I don't think it's a good use of your time or efforts, personally. And as one of the few that does pay his farmland preservation fees, I do pay my $100, whatever it is. I'm not sure that it makes sense to keep chasing that rabbit.
I'll make a motion then to drop the farmland preservation fees.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Motion by Wallach, second by Scoyen to drop the 30 cents an acre farmland preservation fees. I think Chuck's done a nice job laying out his argument for us. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Randy, for dropping the fees?
I was going to oppose it.
Okay, opposed?
Yes.
Okay, so it does pass. We will be dropping the fees then. Thank you.
Will that be as of the first of the year then, or when would that take effect?
Well, I think the letters have been sent out, but, so, do you want to make it so the first of the year, or the letters have been sent out for this year already?
Yeah, I know I've received mine.
And it's an annual basis?
It's an annual basis.
We're reopening the discussion, I'm afraid. I don't know. This is something that needs to be decided. Basically, you would say, if we decided not to charge for 2022, then we would have to send out numbers or letters to everybody saying
Just
that.
leave it, since the letters are out, leave it for one more year? Is That sound
Well,
acceptable?
Chuck, you made the motion, was that okay?
Yes, that would be fine with me.
Aren't the letters
The
from
letters,
previous year?
yeah, were for 2021.
Oh, okay.
Then, yeah, I'd say leave it then. Yeah. Okay, thank you,
So
Verge.
what did you decide? That as of January 1, 2022?
22.
Yes,
Okay.
so when the letters come out next late fall, early winter, they will tell people they no longer will have to pay a fee.
Okay, thank you. Oh, operations report. Report.
I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Excuse me. So wanted to give you guys an update on the tree and shrub program here. I'm getting everything finalized, so the the order forms will be, I'm hoping to be mailed out on December 30th because the courthouse is closed on the 31st for New Year's, so that then they will be coming out the very beginning of January. Then when we get back into the office on January, is it 3rd or 4th, that Monday after New Year's there, I'll get that posted to the website, the Facebook page, get everything updated so that people can get that ordered. And then order forms will be due by March 31st, so the end of March, so that I can get everything finalized, or until the trees are gone. So I will keep, checking the Facebook page because I'll keep everything updated there. If you have questions, just give me a call, and we will get that all sent out. So that's in order to get it sent out here in the next couple weeks. January's coming fast. As far as the speaking and poster contest, speaking contest entries are due December 17th. I have not received any as of yet, but they still do have a couple weeks here. So we'll see if we receive anything. I think last year we only got a couple, so I'm not sure, if we'll get any this year. I'm hoping next year to at least get to, talk to the teachers. I'm thinking in May so that they can plan for their next year's curriculum so that they're ready to go. Sending something out, in October, November when school's already started, everything's planned out, is really hard to get something, involved in the school that late. So then the poster contest entries are due by January 5th. So that's coming up as well. I will reach out to the teachers, make sure that they, are aware of it just one more time. Say, hey, don't forget if anybody has anything, I am willing to pick something up if they need it. And then that contest is January 11th is when the actual contest will be held then. Posters, they don't need to be present. We do a, we just look through them all and then rank them from there. The speaking contest will be held that evening, so that they can actually speak, and then we'll judge them from that standpoint. And then the last item that I have is the silent auction for the Land and Water Conference. I will be sending out some letters here to different small businesses because I'm thinking of 2 different baskets. We have one that was going to be like a camping package or a basket. Pete had graciously donated, and Beth donated the Petrick Park stay for a weekend. So then I would like to do something centered around that, kind of get people involved in Petrick Park, like a camping experience, something in, maybe s'mores and maybe some, coffee, something like that, and have it local products. The other one is I'm thinking like an artesian basket where everything is handmade or locally made. So if somebody has, honey, maple syrup, we could do like earrings or handmade crafts, something like that, just to get people to know what Trempealeau County is about and what we can offer. So I think that would be an, awesome product for someone to get as we bid on these at our annual conference. So that'll get people kind of aware of what they can, expect for Trempealeau County. So I'm also, I want to promote our area. So I'll be sending out different letters to different businesses throughout the county. If you guys have any ideas as far as who to send it to, or if you have someone that would be willing to donate, that's awesome. Let me know. We would like to have these donations, by probably mid to late January, just because we do have to get the order, not order forms, but I have to get paperwork to Land and Water so that the silent auction can then be started. I believe they're starting that in the end of February so that people can then pick them up at the conference. So we want to make sure that we're ready to go from that standpoint. So any questions from me on those three topics? I know I went fast.
Nope, great.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll finish this up, and the two things that we're transitioning to with the conservation is the nutrient management and the conservation practices. I'll go over the nutrient management. We're working with Brad Sirianni in Western, and there's going to be trainings through December, January, and February, and March on the Mondays, 12:30 until 3. The other thing that should be mentioned about that, there is cost sharing per acre for nutrient management, and there's cost sharing for the soil samples. There's also a large population that do need to have their nutrient management plans because of other programs that have not been done in the past, so we're trying to increase that. So we'll be trying to work with him and also trying to work with the individuals, but I'm trying to get those numbers increased just about any way possible. The other thing is the conservation practices. We are working, we evaluated all the conservation practices that have come through so far. We are working on surveying and designing them. We have a couple surveyed and a couple designed now. But we're pretty much saturated for next year already. So anybody that's coming in now, we're pretty much saying it's going to be 2023 because we're pretty much saturated for the money and we're pretty much saturated for staff, which is, I guess, a good problem to have. The other thing that I'm working on is the mines. Everybody with the less than an acre got the renewal forms for their bonds, and everybody over an acre just about has their renewals for the bonds. They've been inspected over the acre, so they're still, if they just got the bond renewal, they're okay, but if they got a letter with that, there's some things that need to be corrected on their mines, and there's still some areas that we still need to work with the conditional use have been expired. And that's about it for me. Any questions for me?
It sounds like you guys are keeping busy.
We're extremely busy.
Excellent.
And yeah, it just seems like, from my standpoint, there all seems to be a lot more work to do.
Right. Anything? Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Haley. We'll move into the surveyor's report. Does everybody have a copy of that in the?
Yep.
Okay. Verge, do you want to describe that? Or Mike, do you want to describe that for us?
Sure. This is the maintenance corner projects detailed by Joe Nelson's crew. The maps shows areas in Gale, Ettrick, and
I don't have a map.
Trempealeau.
Right. Oh, here we go.
Kind of see there.
Down there in Caledonia.
Yeah, I guess maybe you guys didn't get the map, but number of townships kind of shows where the maintenance is being done. So a lot of work done out there in the field for this project.
Looks like all the maintenance has been completed where he was working. So the request is for $2,137.50.
I'll make a motion to approve the surveyor's report and payment request.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Scoyen, moved by Killian to approve the $2,137.50. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. And I have the original copy, so I'll send this along. Please sign this, and we'll get it back to the office. Cost share payment requests, generally they're someplace. Who has them?
Yeah, so I actually have these. They're not on the back of your agenda, sorry for that. Just lost track there. So I have the numbers here. If you guys need those, you can definitely let Becky know. She's not here this morning, so that's why I'm just going to read them off here. So we have 2 cost share potential payments here. We have Chad Rosa. This is going to be for the cover crop program and the SAG funds, and that would be in the amount of $475. And he is in the town of Arcadia. The second one is going to be for Ron Halama. This was a stream bank protection project that we did with NRCS, so we're doing a part of the funding, and that is actually going to be coming out of the MDV fund, so the multi-discharge variance program. I'm not sure if we have paid one out of there as of yet, so this might be the first one. So the pot of money is actually there. We just then, when the project is completed and we have everything submitted to DNR through their new BITS program, then we can pay these projects out. And that would be in the amount of $5,509.98.
Is that for phase 1, or will that be for the phase 2? Because I read an article on that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was just going to ask for some, these are acronyms I haven't heard before, so.
Yep. So Ron Halama is, the phase 1 is completed. We did cost sharing on that as last year. This is phase 2. We are only doing a fraction of the cost sharing on that. NRCS and other partners did more of the cost sharing on it this year. I don't know why with it coming in, late. I think it might be that we just were short of staff, and then NRCS wanted to take the lead on this section. I know he is talking about potentially doing a 3rd section, and I'm not sure who's taking the lead on that one, where we're, in discussion with NRCS as far as that. So this was the 2nd phase, and that would be that $5,509.98.
Could you please describe the project a little more in detail? And it's a multivariance discharge? Is this?
That's the MDV program. It's
Right.
a DNR-led program. It's the multi-discharge variance program. So municipalities pay in.
Okay, that's that program. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this
for
is the-
their phosphorus discharge
all
and
right.
everything. So we have the pot of money sitting already. So it's not a grant. It is actually money coming in from the municipalities. So we work with, there's different practices that you can do to help reduce phosphorus. So the stream bank protection is one of them, as it helps reduce the amount of phosphorus coming into the stream bank, and it, limits the amount of sediment coming in. So with this one, they had the stream bank protection, so they had, I believe it was 2 corners of riprap. Then they also had corners of shaping, and then they also have a 30-foot buffer that nothing can be taking place besides a grassland in that area. So there's no tillage in that area, so we're not going to have sediment coming into that stream bank. This is the 30-foot buffer is a great addition to this project because it limits that potential tillage right next to the stream bank, as that is a potential huge cause of erosion coming into the streams there and reduce of sediment. So I think that buffer is huge, and so that's where we're coming in with that MDV program, that it is reducing that phosphorus.
And I think here's one that if anybody ever wanted to see one of these programs, it's right along Highway 93
Correct.
north of Elk Creek.
Yep.
You can see it right along the road.
And there
so-
is he dedicated an easement, so you can go fishing there. I believe it is a 30-foot easement on either side, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure where parking is, so you might have to do a little bit more looking. I know that it would be, the fishing easement, so you can be walking up and down and, fishing in that area for all the trout that they provided habitat for. I know NRCS did fund some of the habitat in that area. I know I talked to Ron a little bit, and he said the first phase definitely did help bring some of those trout back into that stream. And he was really excited to be fishing out there with his grandkids. So,
Well, another thing is Jim Helgeson donated some money, and there's actually like a small park
Yeah.
along, there's
Yep.
benches where you could just sit
It's really nice.
and
yeah, so this is a great project if you want to see. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's if you want to see kind of a conservation on the ground, that's a great one to go look. And I know he's very proud of it. So.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the $475 for the Russa and $5,509.98 for the Halama project.
So move.
By Wallach, second by Munson. Any other discussion? All in favor of approving those requests, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed? They are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the Director's Operations Report.
Thank you. We have, in the department, we are developing the job description for the conservation position that you guys approved to kind of modify that, transition that planning and zoning specialist position to a conservation position. That's going through that, through personnel bargaining eventually, so we're working on that with HR. So I would expect that position, conservation position, would start to get recruited after the first of the year. We have a vacancy in the Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator position, and yesterday PTED agreed to refill that, so recruitment will be going out for that at the end of the week likely. The PTED was very big on wanting to see that position filled, and there's a lot of opportunity to do really good work in Trumpealeau County in economic development and tourism. I'm right there with them. It's going to be a really good opportunity for someone. The other thing is staff has been taking part in a variety of trainings put on by Wisconsin Land and Water Association. I just really have to commend staff. All of our staff are really interested in learning and keeping up to date and learning all the changes in their field, and they're really committed to doing their job well. And they are to be commended on keeping up on professional development. So they're doing a really good job on that. And there's some trainings coming up as well on farmland preservation and some other things as well. So we're definitely keeping busy in land management.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mike?
I have one.
Microphone, Tony.
For Mike. With the towns, we've got an engineering fee road tax. Supposedly started in the Appleyard area.
Yes.
May I ask, that's engineer, so could the towns use the engineering services for culverts or road stuff? Is that what that's for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and please make use of it. Some towns make more use, some towns don't. And
More work,
Our-
more workload.
Yeah, I was just going to say that our engineering specialists are available to help with up to a certain size, as I imagine.
The one, I think too, as I understand it, the highway department, if it's a cost-shared project.
36 inches and over, yes, it's
Yeah,
cost share.
With highway, then the highway would do that culvert work, but if, that's my sense. I can clarify that with Al, but when he spoke at that Town of Preston meeting.
Town Association
I think he kind of made a little bit of differentiation, so if county cost share is not involved, then I think that's where they don't want to be involved. So that's where maybe our Department of Land Management would come involved in some of those projects.
In the past, Tony, we've been encouraging the towns to use the technical assistance that we have at the county, because if you go private, it's just, 10, 20 times, it's just an outrageous cost. And if it's available, then use it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good question. Future agenda items, that's a good one to have on. Yes, Beth?
Yesterday at the PTEG committee, it was suggested that we do another joint PTED-ELU committee meeting, because there are some people on the PTED committee that don't know who the new staff has been. So I don't think it's urgent, but maybe as soon as we get our tourism person hired and our conservationist person hired, that would be a good time to have another joint meeting.
Sometime in the first quarter of next year, hopefully?
Yes.
Okay, how does that sound to this committee? All right, so either we come on Tuesday or they come on Wednesday or something, because you meet the day before we do.
Right, so you'll just have to keep me posted on, you know, when you want that, so I make sure it gets on the agenda.
All right, anything else? The next meeting date would be January 5th, barring a major snowstorm that might close the courthouse, but who knows? And that being the case, Chuck and Chuck, this is less than an hour meeting, so I'll adjourn the meeting at 9:56. And you all have a good holiday season, and